I feel like we in the movies. I need some popcorn around here.
Bro, I'm about to get this. Is the pizza ready?
What's up, fam? Welcome to the Tay and Steph reaction video. In this reaction video, we're gonna react to
Eugenics and Planned Parenthood. Margaret Sanger, Forgotten History, man. On this channel, we're trying to get to 70K.
Hey.
Do us a favor, smash the subscribe button, help us get to 70K and be a part of the fam, man. We're going to try to hold our reaction to the end of the video, but we'll see what happens, man. Let's get into the video.
Okay. I like the way that started off right there.
Margaret Slee, president of America's Planned Parenthood Federation, maintains that European women should stop having babies for the next 10 years.
But Mrs. Slee, in this country, having babies is the only thing left which is both unrationed and untaxed. Do you think we really ought to stop?
Well, I suppose a subject like that is really so personal that it's entirely up to the parents to decide. But from my view, I believe that there should be no more babies.
The term eugenics is basically a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population. Historically, by excluding people and groups judged to be inferior and promoting those judged to be superior. There have been various applications of eugenics, perhaps the most famous being the Germans before and during World War II, which was condemned by the Nuremberg war crimes trials.
It's like some Hitler type stuff. Give me that
but the
Hitler
Germans
vibes.
did not invent eugenics. In fact, they were inspired by the founder of the taxpayer-funded Planned Parenthood. The truth behind the genesis of that organization and its founder are much darker than most Americans realize. Who was the real Margaret Sanger? Why was she heralded by the Third Reich as the greatest socialist in America? Why do modern Democrats who claim to support the African American population justify presenting her as a cultural icon?
Ollie and Hannah seem so perfect.
I watched that.
What is it?
That was a TikTok couple, and he murdered her.
Dang. Strongly disagree. All right.
Colin Heaton, a veteran of the United States. Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, a veteran of the United States Army and Marine Corps, former history professor, book author, and welcome to this episode of Forgotten History.
I feel like we in the movies. I need some popcorn around here.
Bro, I'm about to get this. Is the pizza ready?
It's almost here.
When the pizza come on, we'll grab me some pizza, y'all. Bro.
Margaret Sanger was born on September 14, 1879 in Corning, New York. She is an icon to left-wing groups due to her founding of Planned Parenthood in October 1916 with her sister Ethel Byrne and Fanny Amendel, which was the first birth control clinic in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. 9 days later, the police raided the clinic and arrested all the people involved for promoting birth control, which was illegal. Sanger refused to pay the fine and spent 30 days in jail. She then traveled the country preaching her concepts. Sanger then founded the American Birth Control League in 1921. Sanger also endorsed the 1927 decision Buck v. Bell.
Before, I'm going to say it's really fast, what were people doing for birth control? Before she came into it, was they doing, like, you know, natural herbs? Y'all comment in the comment section.
That's what I was saying. Where did she even come?
What were we doing?
Yeah.
Y'all comment in the comment section.
In which the Supreme Court ruled that states could forcibly sterilize people deemed unfit without their consent and sometimes without their knowledge.
Wow.
This American law would be the major defense at Nuremberg for the Nazi defendants who were doctors practicing Sanger's methods, and many would be found not guilty as a result of this defense. In 1939, Sanger began what was called the Negro Project, alongside black leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois, Mary McLeod Bethune, and Reverend Adam Clayton Powell. This was the plan to have black doctors performing on black patients to perpetuate the sterilization of blacks who were deemed inferior, as many black patients were suspicious of white doctors.
Wow.
Following upon
crazy
Sanger's
work.
eugenics platform, disguised as giving women access to birth control, the ABCL became Planned Parenthood Federation of America in 1942 after birth control was no longer considered illegal, at least among married couples. During this period, Sanger had critics and supporters. The supporters even today claim that she condemned abortion, arguing that it would not be needed if every woman had access to birth control. What they leave out is that Sanger only opposed abortions if that meant not producing the best, healthiest, most intelligent from Caucasian couples. For blacks, Jews, and brown-skinned people, as well as low IQ white people and those with birth defects, they were not to be allowed. This was what the Nazis adopted. Ironically, in 1966, Planned Parenthood began issuing its Margaret Sanger Awards annually to honor individuals of distinction in recognition of excellence and leadership in furthering reproductive health and reproductive rights.
Wow.
However, the organization very quietly and without any fanfare stopped this practice as Black Lives Matter rose to prominence. It would have been seen as the height of hypocrisy to have a liberal-backed domestic terror group that attacked white America connected to Sanger, a Democrat darling who wanted to exterminate blacks. In fact, the last recipient of the award listed on the website is Dr. Willie Parker in 2015. Then it just quietly disappeared. Parker was an abortionist known for his contentious claims that his Christian faith influenced his work. He was accused of sexual assault in 2019, which he denied, but he still resigned from all of his professional positions in 2020.
He said his Christian faith. Your boy got a whole
That's what I was looking at.
ring. What are you talking about? People be lying.
Just be pulling
Other recipients of the Margaret Sanger Award include House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and actresses Jane Fonda and Katharine Hepburn. Margaret Sanger was one of the few women to be given an honorific title and inducted into the Ku Klux Klan.
Dang.
He exalted by none other than Adolf Hitler and Dr. Joseph Goebbels.
Wow.
She was friends with the racist Democratic President Woodrow Wilson, Democratic fundraiser, and automobile maker Henry Ford, who was also friends with Adolf Hitler, and a rabid anti-Semite and hate.
Henry Ford was friends with Adolf Hitler. That's crazy. You learn something new every day, people.
Every single day. Anybody that was friends with him, I don't trust him.
Margaret Sanger's rabid racism,
crazy.
anti-Semitism, and violent suggestions on eliminating all non-whites from American society endeared her to the eugenics crowd. She wanted an all-white, healthy, intelligent society built upon the concept of racial eradication years before Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party were even a thought. In 1934, the Nazi Party adopted her radical positions, with Goebbels saying, "Margaret Sanger is the best National Socialist in America." In fact, the September 15, 1935 Nuremberg laws classified races according to an insane chart drafted by Dr. Wilhelm Stuckart and Dr. Friedrich Kritzinger. The official name was the Reich Citizenship Law and the Law for the Protection of German Blood and German Honor. These laws embodied many of the racial theories underpinning Nazi ideology, which they adapted from Margaret Sanger. These laws could provide the legal framework for the systematic persecution of Jews in Germany, who at that time were deemed a race and not a religion. And the eugenics behind them were taken from the world of Sanger. In fact, her theories and opinions influenced men like SS Captain Dr. Josef Mengele, the Beast of Auschwitz, and his associates, Dr. Karl Klauberg, Dr. Herta Oberhäuser, Hitler's personal physician, Dr. Karl Brandt, just to name a few. When Hitler authorized the Action T4 euthanasia program to murder the handicapped, mentally ill, and other undesirables from German society, the doctors and nurses were given the program directly from Margaret Sanger's own philosophy. On August 18, 19...
That's another thing we gotta start doing, man. We gotta start like this, like protecting like people that's disabled, elderly people, people who like handicapped, stuff like that. Like you gotta protect those people. You can't be like, because they still people on bro. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be treating people like that on bro.
Anything done to them, I feel like it's just taking
bogus.
advantage
You
of.
know what I'm saying? And that's not tight, because if you're gonna do something, again, you shouldn't be doing it to nobody. But let it be somebody like fight somebody your own size type. Don't pick on nobody. Don't pick on the weak and vulnerable.
I agree.
That's weak, bro.
Circulated a decree requiring all physicians, nurses, and midwives to report newborn infants and children under the age of 3 who showed signs of severe mental or physical disability.
That is so sad.
The man who started the program was Dr. Carl Brandt, and they were disguised as children's clinics and advertised that they would treat their abnormalities and infirmities. In fact, they were death centers, where the children were quietly killed and the cause of death misrepresented as by other means, such as pneumonia, tuberculosis, etc.
No, I can't
Dr.
rock
Brandt
like
himself claimed that Sanger's methods were most effective and, if performed correctly, are ingenious. In Sanger's own words, she peddled racism, eugenics, contraception, abortion, while demonstrating a visceral hatred for children, parenthood, marriage, and the Catholic Church. The following quotes are directly from Margaret Sanger's own writings and interviews.
There is electromagnetic...
Yeah, nah, you can't be doing that to kids, man. That's crazy.
1.
This is so sad.
The most merciful thing that the large
I'm really trying to hold my tears in because I'm really so sad right now. Like, if a parent is giving them their kid thinking that they're about to help them become, a better child or whatever the case may be, and you're secretly killing them, like, that is just, that's
and then try to blame it on something else.
Yeah, that's sad.
It does to one of its infant members is to kill it. 2. A marriage license shall in itself give husband and wife only the right to a common household and not the right of parenthood. 3. All of our problems are the result of...
Hey, foolishness be foolishness, you feel me?
What?
Foolishness just be foolishness.
Birth control is essentially moral. Its general, though prudent, practice must lead to a higher individuality and ultimately to a cleaner race.
Cleaner race is crazy.
Blacks, soldiers, and Jews are a menace to the human race.
Wow.
Number 5.
That's wild.
The masses of Negroes, particularly in the South, still breed carelessly and disastrously, with the result that the increase among Negroes, even more than among whites, is from that portion of the population least intelligent and fit.
What?
Number 6.
You know what they remind me of? They remind me of the Bible. Like, why my stuff ain't working, man? They remind me of the Bible, like, where I think before, like, when Joseph was Pharaoh, Joseph had, he had favor in sight of God and all the people. And then once, Joseph and all his people died off, the new Pharaoh that didn't know Joseph forgot about Joseph, didn't even really know who he was. And he just looked around one day like, man, it's a whole bunch of Israelites in this mug. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to outgrow us and take over. And then he started doing goofy stuff. Bro, that's how they got back into their predicament.
Because people look around thinking you're going to take over. To undermine the authority of the Christian churches. I look forward to seeing humanity free someday of the tyranny of Christianity, no less than capitalism. Number 7. Every single case of inherited defect, every malformed child, every congenitally tainted human being brought into this world is of infinite importance to that poor individual. But it is scarcely less important to the rest of us and to all of our children who must pay in one way or another for these biological and racial mistakes.
That's crazy. That's crazy
Number
talk.
8. It now remains for the United States government to set a sensible example to the world by offering a bonus or a yearly pension to all obviously unfit parents who allow themselves to be sterilized by harmless and scientific means.
Wow.
Wicked, bro.
Margaret Sanger, the woman heralded by the Democrats and left-wing ideologues in the United States for her positions on women's reproductive rights, always failed to include her genocidal positions on ethnic cleansing. She died on September 6, 1966 in Tucson, Arizona. But Margaret Sanger was not alone. The late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said in a New York Times interview, "Frankly, I had thought that at the time Roe was decided, there was concern about population growth, and particularly growth in populations that we don't want to have too many of."
Who is that?
In
Black
Elle
people?
magazine, Ginsburg also stated that poor people should have ready access to abortions because it makes no sense as a national policy to promote birth only among poor people. In 2015, out of $1.29 billion in total revenue, $553.7 million came from the government reimbursing Planned Parenthood for their services. In 2020, Planned Parenthood performed 383,460 abortions, the highest.
Wow. That's an absurd number.
So, just one is too many. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes these numbers become just numbers on the screen. But just think about just putting a 1 up there. Because you think about how crazy the world will go off of 1. Think about, I forget the dude's name, which is sad. But the one dude that died in Michigan or whatever.
George Floyd.
George Floyd, right? So just that one person being a face of a thing, it can set the world on fire.
Right.
So imagine just one baby just seeing their face. We don't see that 383,000. We just need to see one baby face, and that wouldn't touch your heart. Like, dang, why you do that to that little kid? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Yeah. You feel me? We don't see them, so it's like, oh, 3, but just 1 is too many. That's crazy.
Of abortions it has yet reported, and an increase of nearly 28,600 from the previous year. And in the United States, the abortion rate for black women is almost 5 times that for white women. In July 2020, Planned Parenthood quietly removed Margaret Sanger's name from its headquarters in Manhattan, New York. Obviously, the times had caught up with Margaret Sanger. Thank you for watching Forgotten.
Yeah, that's nasty work. Hey, man, we just said what we had to say, man. We don't none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't support none of that at all. I don't support none of that. So, y'all let us know what y'all think about the video in the comment section down below. Let us know what y'all think about Margaret Sanger. I hope y'all ain't comment. Like, I hope nobody in comment like really supporting this for real. But who knows? It's the internet. Yeah. On this channel, don't forget we're trying to get to 70K. Hey. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Help us get to 70K. Be a part of the fam, man. We love you guys. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace.